Hello. For this exercise, we're going to work with selection and transform tools. Go to File. We're going to import an image. In my case, the photo I have of myself in a T-pose. If you end up with your image being sideways and too big, like this, at the top of my screen, all of these icons, I've got the Scale and Rotate tool in place. If you don't see that, go to Edit and Transform, Scale and Rotate. If you zoom out a ways, notice that this photo is way bigger than my canvas. That's alright. So we're just going to rotate it. It's hard to get it perfectly in place, but with Clip Studio Paint and other programs, to lock in at various angles, you hold the Shift key. Now notice instead of rotating smoothly, it rotates at a 45 degree. We're going to shrink it. Again, hold the Shift key and it will decrease the scale, make myself a little smaller. Of course, now we can zoom back in. So now that I have it the right scale and everything, there's something to notice. When you import an object or import an image, the way we just did here, over on your layer palette, notice that this layer has this odd little icon. That means that Clip Studio Paint is treating this image as an object. Right click on this. You want to rasterize this layer, and that just means it's now workable pixel by pixel. So we're going to start messing with some selection tools. First thing I'm going to do is use the magic wand. Now looking at the tool property palette, there's a couple of things. You'll see a line that says apply to connected pixels only. If this is off and I click on, say, like some of this gold in this cloth, it's going to try to find colors all over the scene that are similar. We don't want that in this case. So apply only to connected pixels right now. And then an important adjustment is the color margin. I'm going to set color margin at about 15, as I can click on part of my background. That looks pretty good. And I can hit the delete key and that background literally goes away. Up here in selection mode, you have a couple options. You can keep using the magic wand tool and you'll actually add to the selection if that's how you have it set. Or you can have it set to new selection each time you select. Like that's a new selection, that's a new selection. Now we're going to switch from the magic wand to the lasso tool. And a very similar process. I'm going to circle things, hit the delete button. It's just kind of zoom in. We're zoomed in really far at this point. Notice how pixelated things are. Don't worry too much about that. Again, this is just an exercise. Let's look at the tool property palette again. When you have on your selection mode, I've got mine, so each time I do a circle, it's a new selection, so it just gets rid of the old one. You could do it so where you're adding to the selection, so I would just simply keep adding every time I create a new shape. Remove from selection. Of course, just the opposite. You could carve out shapes until you have what you want. This is all very useful information. We'll use this later. Select from selection. So I could end up cutting out a very specific piece of that. Right now I'm going to go back to new selection. Alright, there I am, separated from the background. Looking back at the layer palette for a second again, let's look at our layer where there's a picture of you. Go down and duplicate that layer and then hide one of the layers. And the reason I do that is because we're going to mess with the shapes and stuff here in a second. And if we really just kind of make a big mess of it, we've got a backup copy where we cut out our character, right? Because we don't want to have to go through the process of cutting it all out again.